I want to show you something really special. Oh, sorry, hit the wrong button there. Yeah, this one. This is a really premium IEM upgrade cable from a company called Effect Audio. It's a Singaporean brand. I haven't heard of them before, but they make some pretty cool stuff. Well, cool and expensive. You can see the price. Over $200 for a cable, and this particular spec is even more. You can get a really good IEM in this price, a complete package, but this is just a cable. You can't do anything with this alone. So I wanted to compare this to a standard cable which you can get for like $10 and see, is there really a massive difference? You can see they've put a lot of thought in the unboxing. It's pretty elaborate. Most IEMs are not this fancy, but we are not here to be distracted by looks. Let's see if it can actually do something. My ex taught me that.
Yeah, boy.
They have a pretty tight plastic protective thingy on all of these metal contacts. I mean, it is a $200+ cable, so I guess they have to keep it safe. I mean, I don't care, but maybe people are touchy about, this being pristine, so it's for scratch resistance, perhaps. I don't know. It was pretty tightly on there. It took me a while to get it off. That's what she said. This cable's quality actually reminds me of the audiophile upgrade cables we tested recently. The C07 and C08. It's not really far from that, and this thing's like 5 times more expensive, with tons of plastic peel everywhere. I don't know. Also, those audiophile cables had replaceable connectors at the end. This one doesn't. On paper, at least feature-wise, it's kind of a downgrade. But let's see if it can redeem itself with actual audio quality. We also have a tiny pouch here. Oh, these are some MMCX connectors. Well, they are not of much use to me because the only other IEM I have is this one, the Westone Mark 30, and that uses a special Linum connector. I think it's like an IPX connector maybe, so MMCX is not really of use right now. But for now, let's just go with the 2-pin connectors. Let's put aside these 7,000 piece box and take a look at the cable. Now, I was fully expecting this to be just an overpriced gimmicky thing, but as soon as I started playing music on it, I was surprised. I used 2 main IEMs for reference, the Kiwi Ears KE4 and SimGoat ET142. I like the ET142 a bit more because it's a lot more comfortable. Now with this stock cable, it kinda sounds loud and compressed, it's fine, but with this cable, there's a lot more detail. Like the separation between different audio zones is better, I can pick up better details in the sub bass, sometimes vocals are better. Like in some tracks, I can pick up the raspiness in the singer's voice here and there, you know what I mean? It's very subtle. Some tracks there is no difference whatsoever, but in others I can definitely tell. It's not day and night or anything. I would say it's probably around 20 to 25% improvement, and it actually reduces the loudness by maybe 1 notch, so I have to bump up the volume by 1 level. That's fine. It's still like around 50%. It's not an issue. Now I understand that there may be placebo effect at play here, right? This is a $250 cable, so I'm expecting a lot more, so maybe my mind is playing tricks on me. But I did go back and forth between all the cables I have for like 2 hours, and I did see a difference with this one. And I think I know what's happening here. You see, this cable isn't magically making the IEM sound better. It's just providing a nicer, cleaner signal to the IEM, which is already capable of producing that nicer sound. And the previous cables that we had were doing it an injustice, like they were not providing the highest quality signal. Think of it like using a low bandwidth HDMI connection to your 4K TV or an 8K TV and complaining that you can only get 720p. Maybe you have connected it to a slower port, or maybe the cable isn't good enough. Use DisplayPort or something, and all of a sudden you get nice resolution. So did this new cable improve the device? No, it was already capable of high performance. The previous cable was holding it back. Do you understand? That's what I'm trying to say here. It did not create something new. This essentially allows the IEMs to access their full potential, which should have happened with the stock cable, but for some reason it didn't. I hope you got my point. It's a minor but pretty noticeable improvement, and a welcome one at that. Of course, I'll be using this as my main cable for the ET142 from now on. This will be my main setup. But are they really worth like 200 or 250 USD? I mean, that's like an NBA player as your waiter. It's a tall order. Get it? Because they're tall. But I understand that the law of diminishing returns applies here as well. It's true for almost any product. The higher you go up in the price ladder, the lesser value you get. When you first upgrade from a stock cable to an audiophile cable, you may get a decent or noticeable improvement, but from there to here, the difference may be smaller. Now in my case, since I'm using a really nice IEM, it was a noticeable difference. Now obviously, given the price of this cable, it absolutely makes no sense to use these with a budget IEM that costs less than these. And in fact, even though the ET142 did perform well, I think these cables are meant for even nicer, much more expensive IEMs. I will try that in the future, but for now, I'm pretty happy with this. But if you want like a value setup, something that doesn't cost this much, you can check out the audio killer cable I mentioned. I'll link those in the description as well. But damn, this cable ruined all my other cables. Now I can't go back. Anyway, let me know what you think.